The Mirage in the Desert, How American Ambition Built a Global City. You won't believe the true story behind Dubai, a glittering, gravity-defying spectacle of wealth and engineering. Forget the oil-rich fairy tale you think you know. The real secret? It's not just about black gold. It's about American greenbacks, American ingenuity, and a vision that was audacious enough to be unbelievable. This city, the one with the tallest towers, the palm-shaped islands, and the indoor ski slopes, is, in many ways, an American creation, a monument to a powerful, decades-long partnership that few truly understand. In the mid-20th century, Dubai was a dusty, sun-baked fishing and pearling port on a forgotten coast, a far cry from the sleek, futuristic metropolis it is today. When oil was first discovered in 1966, it was a modest find compared to its colossal neighbor, Abu Dhabi. This critical scarcity was the first, most important trigger that set Dubai on a radically different path, a path paved by American strategy. While other Gulf states rested on their massive oil reserves, Dubai's visionary leader, Sheikh Rashid bin Saeed Al Maktoum, knew his modest reserves would run out. He saw the end before the beginning. He needed a lifeline, a future beyond oil, and he looked west. He looked to the only global superpower with the technological might, the financial markets, and the capitalist ethos big enough to help him build an empire out of sand. This wasn't just a business deal, it was a geopolitical masterstroke. The US, eager for strategic allies in the volatile Middle East, saw in Dubai an opportunity to build a stable, pro-Western commercial hub, a gateway to Asia, a regional headquarters for American power, trade, and influence. This quiet, deep collaboration began not with skyscrapers, but with infrastructure, the foundational pillars of any modern city. It started with American civil engineering giants, the titans who had tamed rivers and built the Panama Canal, descending upon the sleepy creek. They dredged the shallow Dubai Creek, a project massive for its time, turning a minor waterway into a deep-water port capable of handling global container ships. This was Port Rashid, completed in the early 1970s, and it was the initial, colossal anchor of Dubai's non-oil economy, a commercial artery financed, planned, and executed with significant American consultation and expertise. This port wasn't just a dock, it was a declaration of intent. It screamed to the world, "We are open for business, and we are built to last." But a port needs goods, and goods need logistics. Enter the American corporate machine. Major US firms, from construction behemoths to financial services and tech giants, started pouring in. They weren't just clients, they were architects of the new economy, establishing the regulatory frameworks, the free zones, and the financial systems necessary to attract and sustain global capital. They helped create the blueprint for a tax-free, hyper-efficient, and politically stable commercial haven. The very mechanism by which global trade flows through Dubai, its highly sophisticated logistics, its legal and financial architecture, is a direct import of the American business model. Think of the Jebel Ali Free Zone, JAFZA, the massive commercial powerhouse that is one of the world's largest free zones. This zone was not just an arbitrary patch of land, it was strategically designed, partly on the back of American-style financial and legal modeling, to be a magnet for foreign direct investment, with 100% foreign ownership and zero corporate tax, a radical concept at the time, tailor-made to draw in US and international corporations looking for a regional base. This foundational period, from the late 60s through the 80s, was the true forging of Dubai, far from the tourist brochures. It was the moment American capital, expertise, and a shared strategic vision laid the concrete, steel, and financial laws that would underpin every single spectacle that followed. The city's currency, the dirham, was effectively pegged to the US dollar, providing the monetary stability that international investors crave, a silent, powerful tether to the world's reserve currency and the US Federal Reserve's strength. But the biggest revelation, the part of the story that turns this into a true thriller, is how this quiet partnership evolved from trade and ports into something far more audacious: the wholesale creation of a global lifestyle and tourism magnet. This is where the story truly explodes. The financial bedrock was set, the corporations were in place, but how do you make a desert post a must-see global destination? How do you create an entire economy out of nothing but aspiration and audacity? The next part of the saga details the almost unbelievable pivot to ultra-luxury tourism, an act of sheer will and marketing genius, largely fueled by a new wave of American-trained executives and marketers, transforming a logistical hub into a dream destination. The question isn't just how they built the Burj Khalifa, but why they built it, and who taught them the art of marketing impossible dreams. The next part will pull back the curtain on the American-style PR machine, the financial maneuvers, and the sheer audacity that turned a collection of ports and trade zones into a billionaire's playground, and why the US continues to be the silent partner in this extraordinary, gravity-defying experiment. You won't want to miss the next twist in this incredible story of global ambition and American money. The Billionaire Playground Blueprint: How American Marketing Sold a City to the World. The first phase was the silent war of logistics, dredging, ports, and regulatory frameworks built on an American model to attract global trade. But phase 2, the transformation from a busy hub to a global destination, was an act of sheer, audacious genius, where the true power of American-style marketing, financial structuring, and visionary real estate development was unleashed. If the first phase was about making money in Dubai, the second was about making money from the rest of the world coming to Dubai, even if the oil reserves ran dry. Sheikh Rashid's son, Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, took the helm of this vision, and he wasn't just building buildings, he was designing experiences, and he turned to the experts in selling the impossible, American minds. Think of the late 1990s and early 2000s. Dubai needed a hook, something completely impossible, a spectacle that would force the world to look away from its neighbors and focus solely on the emirate. This is where the concept of starchitecture, building world record-breaking, instantly recognizable structures, became Dubai's core marketing strategy, an idea borrowed heavily from the competitive, ego-driven world of modern American urban development. They didn't just want a nice hotel. They demanded the Burj Al Arab, the world's first 7-star hotel, designed to look like a billowing sail. This was pure, unadulterated branding, a PR coup conceived to plant Dubai firmly in the global consciousness as a synonym for ultra-luxury and extravagance. It wasn't built for revenue in the traditional sense, it was built for free media and global recognition, a page ripped directly from the American advertising playbook. But the biggest financial engineering marvel wasn't a tower at all. It was the land itself. The creation of the artificial islands, specifically the Palm Jumeirah, stands as the ultimate act of converting perceived scarcity, a lack of beachfront, into unimaginable value. This project, which added miles of prime real estate to the coastline, was a high-risk, high-reward venture fueled by innovative financial tools and a relentless drive for foreign investment. They weren't using oil money for this. They were using the promise of future profits, leveraging real estate as a commodity, an investment strategy honed and perfected on Wall Street and in the American housing boom. American real estate consultancies and investment banks were deeply involved in the structuring, funding, and marketing of these mega projects. They provided the necessary global confidence, bringing in vast pools of international capital eager to invest in a stable, dollar-pegged, high-growth environment. The entire sales pitch for the Palm was, "Buy a piece of the future," and that message resonated globally, drawing in wealthy buyers from Europe, Asia, and North America. Furthermore, to support this influx of people and capital, American corporations became the silent, operational partners. Think of the massive expansion of the Dubai International Airport, transforming it into the world's busiest hub for international travel. This required not only engineering expertise but also the highly complex systems for security, air traffic control, and logistics, many of which were provided or heavily influenced by US technology and security firms. The very efficiency and capacity that make Dubai an ideal stopover is a testament to the seamless integration of Western operational standards. The American dream, often defined by the ambition to build bigger, faster, and more spectacularly than anyone else, found its most enthusiastic execution in the sands of Dubai. They took the concept of a financial free zone and expanded it into theme parks, global shopping festivals, and the concept of an entire city as a constant, year-round luxury trade show. Dubai became the ultimate proof of concept for the idea that spectacle equals stability, and luxury guarantees liquidity. But with such rapid expansion and such massive investment comes a complex web of dependence and control. This phenomenal growth created new vulnerabilities, demanding an ever closer security and political alignment with the West. The next critical stage of the story reveals the deeper, strategic alliance, the military and political cooperation that served as the essential, invisible security blanket allowing the entire economic miracle to take place, detailing how the US secured its strategic interests while the skyscrapers rose. The question remains, who is really guarding the gates of this American-built mirage in the desert, and what is the true cost of this unprecedented stability? The financial architecture was in place, the world was paying attention, and the tourists were pouring in. But this shimmering economic miracle, built on the edge of one of the world's most volatile regions, was inherently fragile. The multi-trillion-dollar assets, the endless flow of global trade, and the promise of a stable investment haven needed an invisible, indispensable guarantee of security, a strategic security blanket provided by the United States. This is the part of the story often left out of the glossy brochures, the critical geopolitical alliance that transformed the UAE from a collection of states into America's most capable and reliable military partner in the Arab world, a relationship that underpins the entire Dubai experiment. This alliance didn't start with contracts. It started with shared strategic interests in a region defined by instability. After the Iranian Revolution in 1979 and the Gulf Wars, the need for a stable, Western-aligned hub became paramount for U.S. foreign policy. Dubai, with its deep-water ports, sophisticated logistics, and pro-business stance, was the perfect candidate. The U.S. needed a base of operations, a logistical nexus, and a reliable partner to project power and maintain freedom of navigation in the critical Straits of Hormuz. In return, the U.S. offered the one thing money couldn't buy: unshakable security. The US-UAE defense relationship evolved into a robust partnership, with the UAE purchasing billions of dollars in sophisticated American military equipment, including missile defense systems and advanced combat aircraft. This isn't just a transaction, it's a deep integration of military doctrine and technology, ensuring interoperability and mutual reliance. The presence of US military personnel and assets at UAE facilities serves as a permanent, powerful deterrent, an unwritten insurance policy protecting every square foot of the Palm Jumeirah and every transaction in the Dubai financial market. Think of the strategic implications. American military technology and intelligence safeguards the global supply chains that flow through Jebel Ali port, the very lifeline of Dubai's non-oil economy. Without the guaranteed security of the trade lanes provided by the US and its allies, the insurance premiums on those container ships would skyrocket, choking off the flow of goods and money. The economic miracle cannot exist without the military presence. Furthermore, this partnership extended to the subtle but crucial realm of financial security. The US has worked closely with the UAE to build sophisticated systems to combat illicit finance and money laundering, ensuring that Dubai's financial centers meet international standards. This commitment to transparency and compliance, often guided by US Treasury Department expertise, is essential for maintaining the confidence of Western banks and investors. It's the invisible cleanup crew that keeps the investment flowing. This strategic alignment meant that while Dubai was literally building its future out of sand and steel, it was doing so under the secure, high-tech umbrella of a superpower. The ability to guarantee a predictable, safe environment for both investment and personal travel is the unspoken competitive advantage that Dubai holds over many of its regional rivals. It allowed the city to pivot away from oil dependence with confidence, knowing the ultimate risk, geopolitical disruption, was being managed by the world's most powerful military. The convergence of US dollars, US engineering, and US defense capability created an entirely new model for nation-building, an unprecedented blend of capitalism and security. The foundation of this new city is not concrete, it's a treaty. But what happens when that city becomes too powerful, too wealthy, and too influential? The next phase of the story delves into the new tensions and complexities that arose as Dubai matured from a compliant client state to a powerful, independent global player, threatening to outgrow its American-made blueprint. The question changes from "who built Dubai?" to Who controls it now? The invisible shield of US defense allowed the dream to flourish, but as the concrete dried on the megaprojects and the capital market swelled, a new dynamic began to emerge. Dubai was no longer content to be a compliant client state simply following the American blueprint. It was ready to become a global capitalist powerhouse in its own right, occasionally challenging the very forces that helped create it. This phase marks a subtle but significant geopolitical shift, the transition from student to master, from recipient of expertise to exporter of capital and influence. The key to this transition was the strategic and massive scale of Emirati sovereign wealth funds, SWFs, which are arguably the most powerful long-term consequence of the US-UAE economic partnership. These funds, built from the profits of oil exports and the phenomenal success of their trading and logistics hubs, accumulated trillions of dollars. Instead of merely buying US goods, Dubai and its sister emirate Abu Dhabi started buying pieces of America itself. Think of the scale. Massive investments in US infrastructure, real estate, technology, and finance. They began investing in major US ports, aerospace manufacturers, and Silicon Valley startups. This reversed the flow of influence. It was no longer just American money building Dubai. It was Emirati money securing a permanent, powerful stake in the American economy, blurring the lines between partner and investor, host and owner. This vast, diversified portfolio was their ultimate insurance policy against the volatility of the Middle East and the eventual decline of oil, a sophisticated, globally distributed safety net. Furthermore, the expertise gained from decades of working with US engineering, legal, and financial firms was internalized and repurposed. Emirati-led companies, once relying on American consultants, now began to compete globally, winning bids for massive infrastructure projects across Africa, Asia, and even challenging Western firms on their home turf. The American know-how became the engine of a newly independent, global commercial empire. The most visible sign of this pivot was the relentless drive for technological independence and AI leadership. Recognizing that the next wave of global power rests on digital infrastructure, Dubai began making immense strategic investments in advanced technology, often partnering with US tech giants but maintaining strict control and ownership of the resulting data and infrastructure. This is where the ambition truly crystallizes, to be a global data hub and a future-forward economic leader, reducing reliance on traditional Western infrastructure and knowledge transfer. This pursuit of technological autonomy introduced a new layer of complexity to the US-UAE relationship. While they remain staunch security partners, the economic relationship is now defined by competitive cooperation, a dynamic where they are both allies and formidable rivals. The US still values the strategic base, but it must now contend with an investor that has access to some of America's most sensitive industrial and technological assets. Dubai's success, born from American capital and security, now allows it to pursue a more independent, globalized foreign policy and economic strategy. The city has achieved the very independence Sheikh Rashid sought, but it has done so by creating a deep, complex, and potentially challenging interdependence with its former mentor. The stage is set for the final, most complex act: how Dubai navigates the pressures of being an integral global player, trying to balance Western security with Eastern opportunity, and what that means for the future of this American-built city in the desert. The ultimate test is coming. Can a city built on external confidence maintain its stability when it starts charting its own course? The challenge for the American-built city has become its greatest dilemma: navigating a complex, multipolar world where its foundational Western alliance must be constantly balanced against lucrative opportunities in the East. Dubai's success has made it an essential, globally integrated player, but this very integration exposes it to immense pressures, forcing it to perform a delicate geopolitical balancing act, a high-wire walk between Washington, D.C. and Beijing, between stability and growth. This is the new era of competitive neutrality. While the U.S. provides the critical security umbrella, the non-negotiable guarantee that protects the city's financial heart, Dubai has aggressively diversified its economic and political partnerships, a move essential for its continued, exponential growth. Think of the massive flow of Chinese and Indian capital and trade now coursing through the emirate. As its economy matured, Dubai recognized that placing all its eggs in the Western basket would be a mistake, both strategically and economically. The city consciously transformed itself into the preferred neutral ground for global commerce, a safe harbor where East and West can conduct business, regardless of their political differences. This neutrality is a product of its American-style legal and financial transparency, paired with a non-aligned political stance. But this neutrality is inherently difficult to maintain. When global tensions flare, Dubai is often caught in the middle. For example, its close economic ties with rising powers like China, involving everything from infrastructure development to 5G network installation, naturally raise concerns in Washington regarding security and intelligence sharing. The US, having poured massive amounts of capital and defense capability into the region, views any major pivot to Eastern partners as a potential threat to the strategic leverage it built over decades. The pressure to choose sides is constant, but Dubai's model relies on refusing to choose at all. This balancing act manifests most clearly in the development of Dubai's massive new ports and infrastructure projects. While American firms laid the foundation for Jebel Ali, rival Chinese companies are now often integral to the expansion and operation of future logistics centers. This creates a fascinating paradox. The security of these trade lanes is guaranteed by US naval power, but the goods, the technology, and the capital flowing through them are increasingly of Asian origin. The city is using US-guaranteed safety to fuel its own rise as the new global crossroads. Furthermore, the sheer magnetic pull of Dubai's lifestyle, the ultra-luxury real estate, the world-class education and healthcare, attracts the global wealthy, including many who seek to shield their assets from Western regulatory oversight. This is a double-edged sword. While it fuels the property boom, it forces Dubai to continually tighten its legal frameworks under pressure from its US partners to avoid being labeled a haven for illicit wealth. The ongoing negotiation between Western regulatory standards and a desire for flexible, attractive capital flows is a permanent feature of Dubai's governance. Dubai's future depends entirely on its ability to sustain this incredibly difficult balancing act. It is a city that mastered capitalism under a US shield, and now it must prove it can master geopolitics without losing that protection. The final act of this epic transformation is not about building the tallest tower, but about securing the long-term, stable identity of a city born from foreign ambition but determined to stand alone. The greatest tension is yet to come. What happens when the interests of the creator and the creation inevitably collide? Dubai's relentless pursuit of stability and spectacular growth, once encouraged by the US, has inevitably led to a geopolitical blowback. The creation has become so successful, so wealthy, and so strategically valuable that it now operates with a degree of independence and ambition that can clash directly with the interests of its longtime American patron. This is the moment of friction, where the lines of allegiance become dangerously blurred, and the strategic relationship is tested under the weight of its own success. The core issue is control versus autonomy. The US, having invested decades of security and political capital, expects its key strategic ally to align fully on major foreign policy issues. But Dubai's mandate is economic survival and growth, which often necessitates pragmatism over political allegiance. When the US imposes sanctions or demands a hard line against certain global rivals, Dubai frequently opts for a more neutral, transaction-based approach, prioritizing its status as an open economic zone over Washington's directives. This has led to noticeable public tensions and difficult, behind-the-scenes negotiations. A crucial point of tension is the financial sovereignty of Dubai's massive trade hubs and free zones. These areas, designed with American legal frameworks to attract capital, are now occasionally used by global actors to navigate or bypass Western sanctions regimes. The US must constantly pressure the EU to maintain strict enforcement, a task made complex by Dubai's economic reliance on keeping its doors open to all capital. Every enforcement action is a win for the alliance but a potential cost to Dubai's bottom line, a price the city is increasingly reluctant to pay. Furthermore, the sheer scale of Emirati investment in sensitive American sectors creates a new kind of vulnerability for the US. When Dubai invests billions into American ports, technology companies, or artificial intelligence firms, As outlined in earlier sections, it gains influence and access. The US government is forced to weigh the benefits of that foreign direct investment against the potential national security risks, sometimes blocking or scrutinizing deals that Emirati funds view as purely commercial. This is a complete reversal of the initial dynamic, where the US dictated the terms of investment in Dubai. Now, Washington is managing the impact of Emirati money in America. This friction isn't just commercial, it's technological. The push for AI leadership, initially encouraged as a progressive move, now includes adopting non-Western partners for core infrastructure, raising alarms about the security of data flowing through this crucial global nexus. The irony is profound. A city whose stability is secured by US technology must now decide if its future prosperity requires adopting the technology of its patrons' rivals. This complex period defines a mature, but strained, strategic partnership. Dubai is acting as a major global player, no longer a regional junior partner. It is successfully diversifying its economic and political bets, but that diversification directly challenges the assumptions of its oldest and most powerful security guarantor. The success story that the US helped write is now evolving into a narrative with an unpredictable ending. The stage is set for the final, dramatic act. A future where Dubai must either formalize its independence, risking the vital security guarantee, or find a new, sustainable form of cooperation. The question for the final chapter is simple. What does an American-built city look like when it cuts the financial and political umbilical cord, and can it survive the withdrawal of the security shield? We have traced the unlikely history of Dubai, from a forgotten port to a global powerhouse. A miracle city built on the convergence of local vision, American capital, and a strategic security guarantee. But as we reach the final chapter, the original question, how the US created Dubai, is transformed. The American role was the catalyst and the foundation, but the final creation is something entirely new, a model of post-Western hypercapitalism that has successfully achieved its strategic divorce from absolute dependence. The ultimate measure of American success in Dubai is the city's current, formidable autonomy. By providing the tools for stability, defense, and the blueprint for liquidity, finance, the US essentially created a competitor, a global city that is now too big to fail and too vital to control. Dubai's identity today is defined by its strategic, non-ideological pragmatism. It has taken the best of Western systems, the efficiency of American logistics, the transparency, or regulated opacity, of Wall Street finance and the high-tech security standards, and integrated them seamlessly with the capital, ambition, and rapidly growing markets of the East. This fusion has created a city that is genuinely irreplaceable in the global matrix. It is the only major hub that can simultaneously host a major US military base and serve as the preferred financial sanctuary for global actors operating outside Western political alignment. This unique position is its ultimate security blanket, stronger than any treaty. The question of security, which dominated the middle chapters of our story, has not disappeared, but its nature has changed. The US strategic interest in maintaining regional stability remains absolute. But now, this interest is less about protecting a client state and more about safeguarding a crucial global asset in which American entities have trillions invested. Dubai has flipped the script. It relies on the US for its ultimate defense, but the US relies on Dubai as its indispensable logistical, financial, and political bridgehead to the entire Eastern Hemisphere. The city's true legacy is its economic diversification. The oil that fueled the initial spark now accounts for less than 1% of its GDP, a staggering achievement. This entire ecosystem, the vast airports, the free zones, the luxury lifestyle, the technological drive, was built to survive the day the ground runs dry, a testament to the initial, prescient decision to follow a non-oil-based American commercial model. This is the ultimate triumph of the student over the master. Dubai is no longer merely a city of American dollars. It is a city of global capital, global ambition, and an entirely new, self-made destiny. The desert mirage has become permanent reality, sustained not by allegiance, but by its own sheer, powerful economic necessity. The friction we see today, the tug-of-war over sanctions, technology, and regional alignment, is not a sign of failure, but the final, inevitable tension of a full transition. Dubai has graduated. The US built the vehicle, but the Emirate has taken the wheel, charting a course toward an independent future where it answers only to the logic of the global market. And in the 21st century, that is the most powerful freedom of all. The story of Dubai is not just about a city, it's a definitive tale of modern global power.